wake up, we can get right before the night is up. We can get right, right, right tonight. We can get right, we can get right.
So look, we
Get right, Cinnamontal.
Halo, get right. I know, seriously. It's Cinnamontal and Denk Studios. We're doing another 90-second cover, and this time we switched it up. So this is really the moment of truth because Jam is the drummer, Cinnamontal is not. But Cinnamontal listens to a lot of stuff Jam has to say, so hopefully the drums will do everything justice today. all that being said, I love this song so much because of the horn line, right?
Yeah.
So then I'm like, of course, I'm like, let's try this with James, but I had to give myself a pretty solid groove first. So I actually did start with the drums on this one. And because it's 90-second covers, I did something really, really, really monumental, which is that I said, how about I let myself know when this song has to be. So I picked a tempo. I think I slowed it down a little bit. So start with the kick because I need a good groove because we can't, this is a dance track. We can't start we just need the groove to be going, right? So let's say we started with the kick, the snare. I'm pretty sure I added like a snare too, snare stack, which sounds like this actually. That's like the snare stack, and this is snare two, which is, I don't even know the technical term. What's it more like? It sounds more like a, what is that?
That is, drummers call that a flam.
Thank you, a flam. Yeah. Thank you. Look, that's what that is. Then we've got this one, snare one, which is really more of a clap, but I used it like it's a snare to me. I'm trying to make sure that every section lifts to where the energy level should be, right? So if we're dancing in the chorus, we're gonna dance in the chorus. So let's check out the verse. And I think the other thing that the reason why I really love songwriting too and producing is because I'm listening to where the song, I'm trying to emphasize the lyrics with the beat, right? So when I gave this reference track, you'll hear it. You're looking just a little too hard at me, standing just a little too close to me. You're not saying quite enough to me. You're sipping just a little too slow for me. Right. So I think listening to you, Jam, I learned, oh, okay, actually listen to other stuff that's going on in this song. You know, there's a lot of power in it and it helps the singer know where they're supposed to be. And then we get to the chorus, let's say we still got these same instruments, right? Right. So now the chorus is so empty that the rest of this stuff had to get added. So check it out. Okay, the A though, for real.
Yeah, I was gonna say I love the A. I love the A. That broken glass sound that you have in there. So it's like freaking glass, hi-hat. Hey.
The breaking glass? Well, how does it sound?
It sounds like a Molotov cocktail going through a window, but over and over and over. That one,
yes. Okay. So this one, I was like, I don't know. It's giving me FKA Twigs vibes because I really like how she uses percussion. She uses percussion in a way that makes you feel like you have a whole drum set there, but you don't.
Right. Yeah.
I just really like it. So, all right, chorus. One more time. Here we go. I'm about to sign you up before the night is up. We can do right. I'm about to fill your cup before the night is up. So now I'm like, all right, cool. We got enough groove.
You can totally tell that you've been hanging out with me a lot and making music with me a lot because when we first made music together, you were like, kick, snare, hi-hat, done. And now that we've spent so much time together, you're like, oh, I'm going to add this percussion. I'm going to add this percussion. And it's really cool to I'm rubbing off on you in this crazy percussion world.
Oh, for real, you are. I'm like, okay. But I think too, it's trying to understand what percussion is. I don't even say for, but how I'm going to use it. I think the intent, how it can be used and how I'm going to use it. It's it's a two-step journey, you know, okay, wait. I do know I like cowbell, but for real though, you can have too much cowbell, right? Like, so where you can in fact have too much cowbell. So where, and I think really one of my most like one thing that you explain really well too is that I'm just like, what is with the stacking? You know, because even if it is like this snare stack is these 3 other snares, you know what I mean? So, and then there's still 2 others. There's still 2 other snares that are happening. So I just really like how the colors start to sit on top of each other. And then the tambourine for me, it's official. We're in the chorus. Tambourine means we're in the chorus.
Yeah.
All right. So then we're gonna add James, right? And this lick.
Explain to the audience who James is in case they're new here.
Okay, so James is my bassoon. His name is James the Bassoon. You can see here, James the Bassoon. Look, James the Bassoon 1, 2, and 3.
Well, yeah, there's multiple. You gotta have all of them.
There's well, you do have to have multiple because listen to this. Here's what happened. The horn, so it's a saxophone, right? In the Get Right track. It has the ability, not all saxophones, but it has the ability to have this real tinny sound where it's like it's gonna punch through, right? The bassoon, though, it really doesn't have that natural tinny sound unless you switch the reed to maybe something that's plastic, or you change it to a reed that's a little harder. And like playing classical bassoon, you're so used to trying to make everything smooth because the bassoon kind of like fills the space in the orchestra. It fills the space between like the clarinet and, you know, kind of the cello. Like it kind of fills in that space, right? So it sounds. So I've been trained to play like smooth and fill in this space. So then I go to play this alto sax line, and I'm not cutting through. Of course. So this is the struggle. But it does sound great on bassoon, but it's not going to cut through. So now I'm trying to process. Okay, play a little flat, right? Like play a little da 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 da. Like literally, now I'm gonna have to fall. I'm gonna have to do everything the opposite way that I was trained.
Super fun thing about music production is that you don't have to do everything the way that you're like taught or trained how to do it. If I'm programming drums and percussion, all this stuff, and I was to like sit down on my drum set and try to play it, I'd be like, forget it. There's actually this really great series that my friend Affy does where she does producer versus drummer. And she sits at her drum kit and she tries to beat the producer by playing the actual every note of the drums on Instagram. It's really fun. But
it's not fun.
Yeah, it just goes against like everything that you're told about, like, oh, this is what drums are supposed to be. This is what a bassoon is supposed to be. And that to me is why making music in a DAW is so fun. It's because you get to kind of throw the rules out.
Yes, exactly. And I think I'll say this too, like once you quote unquote know the rules, you can break the rules or whatever. But it's more so like you understand why something's not working. I'm like, Cinnamon, you're trying to play it like you're playing Tchaikovsky's Fifth. And you're really playing J-Lo Get Right, right? So do the opposite. Do the opposite of what you know, what you've been trained to do, which if you've like practiced enough, now you know how to do the opposite, right? Like I know how to do the opposite of what I've been doing because I've been practicing enough to understand that I'm supposed to not play Tchaikovsky Fifth right now. Yeah. Anyway, but that being said, I'm like, all right, well, this ain't cutting through. Like this is not cutting because the verse comes in here. So now I'm just like, I just have to play this. I'm just going to double it, right? Then I noticed that there's these 2 lines, and I've listened to the song a million times and never really consciously registered, but is there the da 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 da? There's 2 licks. So, and those are places on the bassoon. I was like, well, where does it go? I said, well, it's going to go where I'm about to put it. But, right, because the point of these is to have fun and just figure out where stuff goes. So now, got this one down here. Just like a lower octave. So that little lick, I'm like, all right, I know the verse is going to do looking just a little. So let's put the refrain looking just a little too slow for me. So let's let everything allow the vocalist to have room for that.
You're not saying quite enough to me. You're sipping just a little too slow for me. No doubt you're playing real.
But even then, I stopped again because I was like, the singer's gonna have to breathe again.
Tambourine chorus.
Yeah, we're in the tambourine. We're in the chorus. Just ask Earth, Wind, and Fire. It will tell you. We're in the chorus and the tambourine. So now I'm like, all right. Now we're in the main part. Everything needs to be familiar. Like we're in the chorus. Everything needs to be familiar. So the da 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 is where I put James back on that.
I'm about to wake up before the night is up. Your lips.
All right. Oh, and then there was this fall. Truly, the fall was there. This little bassoon, James the bassoon fall. It was really there because I was like, oh, I'm over it. But then I said, it's kind of cute. I'm kind of over it. And I was like, I don't know.
I was funny because in the mix, I took that and I made it go from speaker to speaker.
You did. I really love it.
It's a great way to make things fall is using panning. It'll take it from close to far really fast.
In my mind, when you go mixing, because you do sometimes take stuff out, leave stuff in, which I also love because it feels like Christmas sometimes when I get mixed back. Because I'm like, I asked Santa, you're Santa, okay. I asked Santa for, these 1,000 things with, 25 tracks, and Santa sent me back 20 tracks, but it's better. So like when you're mixing, I'm always like, let's see if she leaves it. Sometimes I leave it because I'm like, let's see if Jam leaves it or if she takes it out. I don't know. It's Russian roulette. Like, how do you decide?
Yeah. And the funny thing is like working with you, like doing these, that's why it's so fun. Because like if I get a client and they send me 25 tracks, I'm not taking shit out. I'm making every single thing work because they put it in and they made a conscious decision. But if like I'm able to produce and like work with you and know that you're not going to get mad at me for taking in things and leaving things out, it's like Christmas for me too, because it's like full trust. Like I don't always, as a mixing and mastering engineer, I almost like never get a final say. There's always going to be revisions, and sometimes it sounds better. Most times it sounds better when the client's like, hey, no, I want it like this, because they have a vision. But it's fun doing these productions with you because it is kind of like this full creative of the mix, creative collaboration of the mix and master as well, that I don't always get to have.
That's the thing. Like people say, let's collab, let's collab, let's collab. And I think I seen you post about this too. It's like, no. You want me to do this work, right? Like, do you want to collab? Because then I'm going to have an opinion and it's going to be as valid as yours. Now, if that means that we keep it or not, that's an ego thing. Like we don't have to do that. But when you say collab, that means my opinion or my like musical perspective, my Tchaikovsky fifth James the Bassoon perspective is as valid as Jam's awesome 20 plus years of drumming. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just as valid regardless of what music we choose.
Yeah.
That's why it's fun.
And that's totally why it's fun.
All right. So check this out though. I just realized. So we're adding the next piece, which is this. I'm pretty sure I just stretched my own voice. Yeah. I just pitched down my own voice on this. So this is We Can Get Right. Yeah, I think I just pitched down my own voice and then warped it a little bit.
Dope.
So really it's
We can get right.
Yeah, I just pitched it down. And then kind of had to move it around a little bit. Like I had to, time stretch it, making sure it was in tempo. But it was a lot of fun because then I was like, listen to this. I love it. Okay, so then it's a little empty because we don't really have a bass. We have a bassoon, but we don't have a bass. And you don't always need it. But I was like, no, we're 808ing this. We're 808ing this. So what do we use on this? Oh yeah, we use Anna too, didn't we?
Love Anna too. Please sponsor us, Slate.
Really? Yeah, we're dancing now. The 808 comes out, we're dancing. And then I think I use Anna 2 on the chorus bass, which check this one out. This is when I texted you and I was like, we're in the 80s now. So the other thing I I should say about this is that this is not necessarily like the chord structure of the track, but I've watched like a million versions of J-Lo performing this song, and she does kind of do like this flat seven, da 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 da, like this flat seven, like flat major seven thing going on, which is why I just kind of changed the chords on that. We're still in the 80s because then the bass comes in. Nice. So now like we're dancing. We're 100% dancing.
Yeah.
And then after that, I mean, I think the next thing about doing this is being like, stop. Like, stop now. Maybe I'm sensitive to thinking like I can't stand when people when I'm working with someone, they send me something that's not already vibing, because now I have to create the vibe with my voice, and I think the voice is meant to just deliver the vibe with actual words. And I think the whole vibe should be in the production. So then I felt good about sending it to you, because I was like, now we can do it.
I love that stop right there where it's like, it's like all this drums going on, and then it goes back to the verse beat. It's this really cool, exciting thing that happens in reverse. Like usually you're building up to the chorus and it's really exciting, but to have like that drop where a slowdown is exciting is a cool thing to do that you really nailed right there.
Oh, thank you.
That's tricky.
Look, that reminds me of something. Okay, I will say that there are two reasons why I really believe that this works. Because I don't have the bass. Like in verse 1, the 808 is in. The beginning of verse 1, the 808 is in. The beginning of verse 2, the 808 isn't. But it comes in later. That space without it, we got all this space. Like, check it. We've got all this space without it. So now when he comes, now
that's dope.
Like now we care that you're here because you left. Like, wait, where did it go? You know,
that's
I think that's why it worked. And the other thing that you just reminded me of, kind of sort of a tangent, pretty much basically a tangent, super important though, is that the only one song that I tell people all the time, like the only time I've ever heard a key change where it like modulated down, like chromatically, where it really worked was "I'm Every Woman" by Shaka Khan, or like Whitney, whatever version you want. She's like, "I'm every woman, I saw in me. I'm every woman, I'm every woman." Like, I'm like, did y'all notice that we just modulated, like we just went down? Maybe because I'm used to singing gospel and we keep like in the choir, we keep modulating up a half, up a half step. But like for real, there's a lot of power in taking stuff out.
Yeah.
Like in back.
Yeah, and it's those subtle things like you might not consciously realize what's going on. That's the difference between like a seasoned producer and a like new producer, is knowing when to remove and when to put in, and doing it so subtly that it's more of like a feeling and a vibe instead of just like a direct, this is what, this is the intention and the listener is going to hear this. It's like most of the time the listener doesn't hear it. Like I think even when I was singing the song, I didn't notice that until you pointed it out. And then I was like, oh, that is what happened there.
That is why, well, it makes you trust like the song. Have you ever been like dancing?
Yes.
And if I know, right? You've ever been dancing, but like imagine if you're on the dance floor and the song leaves you hanging, like dance wise. Like I can't, like my groove is gone. I don't know where I am. And then I'm back. Like, no, you can't dance to it. And like a dance track is supposed to build trust that the people listening to it will keep dancing.
Yeah.
Like that's the trust, because I can't dance, but I'll be on the dance floor, but don't make me look stupid. Like more like, don't make me look silly by throwing off my groove,
Yeah. And when you can't dance to a song, you'll see this mass exodus, right? So like, So you're in the club and like Britney's Toxic is on and everybody's like, yeah. And all the girls run down to the dance floor and everybody's having a great time. And then the song ends and then maybe it's something that's like not as popular or a little bit slower. And everybody says, okay, this is my moment to like go get a beer. Basically, you never want your song to be the song where everybody says, here's my moment to go get a beer.
For real though. Like, nah, for real.
Oh,
though.
this is my moment. I'm gonna go outside and smoke because this crapper is on, you know, before they put another banger on.
But like you said, if you're writing a dance track, you don't want your song to be the song people go get a beer if you're trying to write a dance track.
Right.
Like that's the point I'm trying to make.
Yeah, 100%. Also, we should totally do Toxic at some point.
Toxic.
I can't.
No, we're gonna do Toxic.
I can't sing it, but we're gonna do. I
Well,
do
what do
drums.
y'all think? No, like I don't know. Leave in the comments which song you think we should do, and then we'll see what we'll do from there.
Oh yeah,
How about that?
yeah. Drop that in the comments. All right, so let's talk about the vocal inspiration for this song. So you had sent me this amazing vocal guide, and I'd asked you for that because I can sing, but I'm not like in any way a trained vocalist. So I do much better if I have some kind of guide. That is just the truth.
Okay.
For this song, I think it was like something to do with the production or the way that the beat just spoke to me. I was like, this kind of has, and maybe it's that reaching into the 80s that we did, but I was like, this has kind of like a Salt and Pepper TLC kind of feel to it. And I thought, well, how funny would it be if I could actually pull this off? And because like I'm so good with rhythm and like hitting the pocket with everything that I do, because I've been a drummer since I was born, I was like, oh, I bet I could do kind of like a nice, like, I am not going to call this hip hop and I am not going to call this rapping because I don't think that is true, but a rhythmic vocalization of the song.
Sing talking.
Yeah, sing talking. There we go. So basically, this is what I had come up with, and I'll just like solo. Well, actually, I'll just play it with the music. I'm gonna do the second verse because that's probably my favorite one.
Right, your lips talking about I play too much. Can a woman take advantage of what she wants? My hips moving oh so slow. Bar tab looking like a condo. All I need is you here right by my side. Take whatever you want and baby, let's ride. And
When I read the lyrics, I was like, this has some attitude. This has like, it's not romantic. It's not sing-songy. It's like, can a woman get what she wants? Let's go for a ride, you know? And so I really wanted to make it as fun as possible with also having a little bit of attitude. So that's kind of how I came up with that vocal melody. And I was trying to sing it the way that you sent it. I was like, and I had the lyrics up like on my second monitor, and I was like, oh, I can't get the words to fit. I can't get this. And so I tried dropping some words in and out, and I was like, it's not really working. And another thing you can do when you're vocal recording is you can do it line by line, and then you can comp it, which just basically means sing one line, stop, hit record again, sing the other line. But it wasn't getting the energy doing the comping. And so I was like, okay, let me just mute this guide and go for it. And that's what I came up with. And this is like my fifth or sixth vocal take. I tried it in several different ways. Like, I don't know why. Like when I first started doing it, I had some kind of weird accent. I don't know where that came from. Let's go into the chorus. So the chorus, I left your vocal in there for like the main part of it.
Why did you do that though?
I did that because I thought it sounded really cool to have us singing together. I really liked your like soulful performance where it was really beautiful and fun, and my like more upbeat kind of dancey fun vocal together. I thought that was really cool sounding. So I left that in. Once I played that us together, I was like, oh, that sounds really cool. And then I did these just doing rhythmic singing to go with the beat.
we can get right. I'm about to fill your cup. We can get.
So I just kind of added those to be like a vocalized beat. So I have these vocal stacks. They're me kind of just singing in different
Octaves.
yeah. And then I just went like full, I didn't use autotune, but autotune. I used Metatune, but I'll play these for you.
We can get right.
Pause
Okay.
for a second. I don't want you to lose your train of thought, but check it out. Play that again though.
We can get right.
Okay, do you know what that sounds like? That sounds like a horn section. Like if you take those lyrics out, ba-da-da, da 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 da. Like
Yeah,
that
it
sounds
does.
like a horn section. Yeah, I love that so much.
I especially like this high one right here. I'll play it for you just by
Yeah.
itself. This one I think is
We can get right.
where it goes
Yeah,
like full. I was like, right.
yeah, I love that. It's a horn section. I love it.
I think using mixing tools for production, such as autotune, I think autotune is a production choice, right? So like
Yeah.
deciding that you want something to be tuned to sound robotic, that's a production choice, 100%. So that's kind of how you can blend those in. So here is us singing the chorus together. So this is Cinnamontal's voice right here. This one here.
I'm about to sign you up before the night is up.
Originally, she was singing through this whole thing, and then I just cut it. This is something that you don't get often in anything you listen to, is being able to hear
Vocal.
isolated vocals. And so
Yeah.
that experience is cool.
I'm about to sign you
We
up
can get right
before the night is up.
We can get right. We can get right.
You can take that and make a horn arrangement. You do realize this. You can take it and make it like dun da 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 da, and then we're gonna add the tambourine.
Yeah. And then we add the
Like that.
tambourine. Let's play it with just the tambourine.
I'm about to sign you
We
up
can get right
before the night is up.
We can get right. We can get right.
I'm about to fill your cup
We can get right
before the night is up.
We can get right. We can get right tonight. We can get right.
So yeah, you just start like adding the drums in, and it's almost like you don't really need much else.
I'm about to sign you up
We can get right
before the night is up.
We can get right. We can get right.
I'm about to fill your cup
We can get right
before the night is up.
We can get right tonight. We can get right.
So there's so much that you can do with your own voice. If you can't find instruments that you love, don't underestimate using your own voice and your own body. Like, you can't find a clap that you like, start clapping into the microphone. You can't find a snap, start snapping. Don't underestimate using your own self to produce music. And it's unique because no one else has your hands and no one else has your voice. So it's like your own, the jam sample pack, the Cinnamontal sample pack.
It is though, for real though.
We should make one. We should make a
Speaking
sample
of,
pack.
I've been thinking about making a bassoon sample pack for a minute. So
Oh yeah, let's do it. If you want a 90-second cover sample pack, drop that in the comments.
yes.
It will require your sweet email. But other than that,
Other than that,
well, this has been super fun.
it
super
has
fun.
been.
If you want us to cover a specific song, drop it in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, all that fun stuff. You can catch us on Instagram, TikTok, all that good stuff. All the links will be in the comments.
Thank y'all. See y'all later.
Okay, bye.
You're looking just a little too hard at me, standing just a little too close to me. You say you're not quite enough for me. You're sipping just a little too slow for me. No doubt you're playing real cool, homie. Got me thinking what it is that you do for me. Tripping a little more than I should be. So let yourself go and get right with me.
I'm about to sign you up
We can get right
before the night is up.
We can get right.
I'm about to fill your cup
We can get right
before the night is up.
We can get right tonight. We can get right. Your lips talking about I play too much. Can a woman take advantage of what she wants? My hips moving oh so slow. Bar tab looking like a condo. All I need is you here right by my side. Take whatever you want and baby let's ride. And whatever you won't, let me decide. Just put your name on the dotted line.
I'm about to sign you up
We can get